Hi guys, it's Trig and welcome to the Painted Man or Warded Man build for Skyrim. This is possibly the greatest unarmed build of all time, and if played correctly can be overpowered, yet balanced due to the need of timing of attacks. This build is loved by me as it got me into Skyrim modding, and also is based on a character of my favourite book series, The Demon Cycle. Hence I'd like to thank Peter V. Brett and all the modders for making this build possible. Links to PV Brett's website can be found in the description, so please sit back, relax and enjoy the video. However, before we start on the build, I would like to mention that I will most likely miss something out in this video, so a follow-up video may be created. If so, I will link it in the description, and if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments section. I will leave timestamps for the areas of coverage of the build here. For those who have not read the books, this build is focused on the character Arlen Bales. I don't want to spoil the book, so I'll keep this short. In the book's fantasy world, demons rise every night to kill people. Arlen eventually draws wards on his skin which affects demons. He does this to become a powerful warrior and tends to use his fists in combat, hence this is the build. All mods have their links in the description, and there's many of them. You require the Warded Man race menu plugin, therefore you require the race menu mod. And when you are making your character, I made mine Imperial personally, ensure that you have the warded tattoos on. If you cannot get the head wards to work, look in the comments and forum sections of the race menu mod for guidance. Don't worry, it's an easy fix. However, if you cannot find help, comment below and I will find out for you. The mod also comes with many benefiting effects. Boost Magicka by 100, carry weight is boosted by 100, unarmed damage is boosted by 50, damage resistance is boosted by 50, fortify armor is boosted by 50, health regeneration is boosted by 20%, and these can all be found in the added Aknir Sun temple, which also is very key to this build because it's part of the Demon Cycle book series. Next we need Smartcast. This is used so that as soon as you enter combat, a flesh spell is used. Copy the screenshot for help. This can be used so a healing spell is used as soon as you're on low health. Use the strongest flesh spell you have that isn't master, as you have to charge that. I left the config as default. I have the mod Flesh Spell Fortifies Unarmed Damage. This helps to increase maximum unarmed damage significantly, and due to Smartcast casting the Flesh Spell, you're always doing maximum unarmed damage. I used the Ordinator perk overhaul as I believe it is the best overhaul for this build. The mod is easy to use and helps harness the skills used by Arlen Bales the Painted Man. I will later on show you the recommended perks and describe the use of each. Knight of Thorns and Spear of Thorns. This is used for the beautiful spear which I used to mimic the spear of Kaji used in the Demon Cycle series. Immersive Armors is used to mimic the lion cloth worn by the Painted Man in battle. I know that he starts to wear some normal clothes, but I think he looks badass. Hideouts of Skyrim is a mod I use indirectly as it is used to mimic the hideouts of Arlen Bales and are cool to come across while exploring. Helgen Reborn, while not the same as Cutter's Hollow in the book, is used as a mod to help rebuild the destroyed town. And as you first come across Helgen, as it is destroyed, it is the idea that Arlen goes to the Hollow as it is destroyed, so this is to mimic that. Also, this is my favourite quest mod with the great voice acting and an interesting storyline that I hope you will enjoy. The Complete Shout Overhaul mod is used to harness the power of the voice to mimic the powers of Arlen Bales, the Painted Man. Mainly the Become Ethereal Shout is used. I set the cooldown to mine to the time shown on screen, then use this in between attacks to take minimal damage. This is what starts to make the build so powerful. The settings can be seen on screen now. Apocalypse Magic of Skyrim with Ordinator Patch is used as I used limited destruction magic to represent Arlen's ability to draw wards in the air. I focused on fire magic, but obviously you can do lightning, frost and other magic types added by the mod. Auto unequip ammo and belt fastened quivers was used because I don't like the vanilla model personally, and when Arlen is not using a bow I did not want to see the quiver on his back. Belt fastened quivers I think is far more realistic anyway. Immersive Horses is used so that you can have your horse Twilight Dancer. My settings are shown on screen. The Monster mod was installed to try and get a demon equivalent enemy to fight. You can either get the lower version or the non-lower version. These enemies randomly spawn and are pretty interesting to come across randomly. The Ring of Ultravision is used so that you can mimic the ward sight of Arlen Bales. I assigned this to a hotkey and activated it whenever I wanted and used it to detect all enemy life, and would usually just wear a unarmed damage fortify ring. Spells, weapons, shouts and armor used. So I wore the Barbarian Hero Armor from the Immersive Armor set. This looks very badass on the warded character. For ranged attacks, I used the Ebony Bow with Ebony Arrows. I had all armor assigned to hotkeys so that I could rapidly change clothing as I enter combat. The Painted Man takes off his monk robes and attacks, and I wanted to mimic this. So make sure you wear the hooded monk robes whenever you're in a public place. You could wear normal clothes as Arlen begins to do this, but I went with the robes because I just thought it was easier. The Ring of Uber Ultravision was assigned to a hotkey so I could see the auras of my enemies. Similar to the Painted Man, I wanted to see enemies at distances. When I wasn't wearing this ring, I wore an unarmed bonus ring to maximize damage output. I used the Spear of Thorns, which looks badass and very aesthetic. I use this as a spear to mimic the Spear of Kaji in the book series. Become Ethereal with the Shout cooldown was used, as well as Elemental Fury. Become Ethereal is used to mimic the Painted Man sort of dissipating to absorb attacks and take minimal damage. I had Fast Healing and Fireball as a favorited spell, as well as Iron Flesh, my preferred flesh spell for Smartcast. Okay guys, this is the perks required for the build. Just going to quickly show you some other stuff first. I went Race Imperial because it's a humanoid race and I didn't really want to choose Nord or Redguard. Magicka boosted to about 270. Health is about 305 and stamina is about 220. I didn't really go 1-1-1, I just went random, just whichever one I felt like I lacked the most. So let's go into Destruction. Notice it's not that high, I don't use it that often. But I've just put Destruction Mastery 2 points into there because it just means it costs less. Force of Nature just means they cost less even more and are more powerful, which I just think is quite useful overall. Next is Restoration, just again to get the maximum efficiency. Descending Light, you regenerate it faster, which is similar to the Painted Man, who when he kills demons absorbs their magical energy, and this then makes him more powerful, and I thought this would be quite cool to try and mimic. Next is Edge Walker, this just means they're more powerful, which again is pretty helpful for any build, and I thought I'd just use that. Alteration, I've got pretty high, obviously put them in there again just to get the efficiency. Magic Resistance, I want the magic resistance because the Painted Man himself is quite resistant to magic as he's so powerful. This one, Reverie, just they're faster and just spells are better overall, and I thought it was quite useful as I do sleep when I play because I like the role playing aspect. And then Nullifier, that's just a pretty awesome perk and is to mimic the Painted Man draining energy from his enemies. Two-handed for the Spear of Kaji, I've put 2 points in here because I want to do more damage with weapons. And then Trained Fighter just reduces the stamina cost, which again is quite useful for any build. I wasn't sure which path was for spears, so if you discover which one it is, I believe it's in the Greatsword category, but I'm not 100% sure. Spear of Kaji, and then you can choose that line. However, I'm not going to do that currently. One-handed clear archery, I put 2 points in archery mastery because I just want to do the maximum damage and I'm not fussed about the other perks in this tree. Light armor, this is where it gets a bit more interesting. Obviously you want the highest thing possible because you're only wearing one piece of armor. Then Iron Fist just increases unarmed damage, which obviously you want as an unarmed build. You need 2 hands free. Then Sweeping Wind, they do more damage and it's just overall that's helpful again. Then there is Rushing Tide, they increase regeneration, again it's very useful. Hissing Dragon, so you choose a type of damage: fire, frost, shock, poison or disease. I chose fire because that's my favourite. I tried to mimic the ward drawing in the air, so I chose fire. You can choose either frost or shock. I wouldn't choose poison or disease if you're trying to make this build. This perk I chose again just for the unarmed attack boost. Speech is also quite high because on the Ordinator perks it means that it boosts your shout ability, so you have to put a perk in there. Then this one, just shouting restores stamina, again quite useful. Windborne, extra attack damage after using a shout, chance to reduce the shout cooldown 3 seconds. Not that useful considering using the shout overhaul, but still get that so you can get further up, allowing you to use a shout immediately afterwards. And then Dova Zulan, you carry your previous shout. Overall they're quite useful useful perks, but you might not be affected that much by them. And that's the perks. Now for some role-playing aspects and some guidance on how to play this character. In public areas, make sure you wear robes. Arlen wears tender robes, which are similar to the hooded monk robes in Skyrim. This will help mimic the fact that Arlen likes to hide his wards so he does not get attention drawn to himself. When travelling, ride Twilight Dancer, and as soon as you enter combat, take off your robes and equip your armour. Make sure you hunt your enemies where possible and use the correct offensive weapon in the correct situation. So thanks for watching, guys. This has been Trigger J. Hope you've enjoyed the build. Again, I'd like to thank Peter V. Brett and all the modders for making this build possible. Please share, comment, like and subscribe for more, because this build took me ages. I don't care how this video does. Well, I'd love it to do really well. Playing this build has taken me over 100 hours, and then doing the character video is going to take me about 5 or 6 hours. So I'd love if it could do well. Thank you so much for watching though, and thank you for all the support I've been getting lately, and thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Hope you've enjoyed.